Hey, welcome everyone to today's webinar. If you are looking to get more 5-star customer reviews, you've landed in the right place. We have a really exciting webinar with great new content. Some of the things we're going to be covering is the different tools, different ways to get reviews, creating a company culture on getting reviews, how to respond to reviews, all sorts of stuff, everything related to reviews, everything you need to know to get more reviews. And as you probably know, because you're here, it affects your rankings, it affects conversions, which is the most important thing. And overall, it's just going to affect your lead flow. So because it's such an important topic, I would ask that you shut down the noise and the clutter. We all live in a day of distraction. So if you could just kind of focus here. I'm just going to get right to the point with a lot of these important issues, and I'll work through this. But if you could just turn off your distractions, that'd be awesome. A little bit of information about me. If you haven't heard me, I own and manage this company, Rainmaker for Contractors. Been doing this for 12 years. Rainmaker is a Google Partner All-Star. Google's flown me to their headquarters a few times. We won some contests there. I did write a book on basement waterproofing and internet marketing. It's the only one that I know of. Do have a podcast. It's called the Rainmaker for Contractors. And I'm also at this time the president of the Basement Health Association. I've been in this space for probably 27 years. What's probably most important is our team of about 12 or so people specialize in lead generation and lead conversion for basement waterproofing and foundation repair contractors. It's our specialty. We continue to get better at what we do. That sets us apart from a lot of different agencies out there. Okay, do online reviews matter? Yes, of course they do, and that's why you're here. Let's cover some of those points as to why they're so important. 84% of people trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation. And even if you went to your neighbor, a trusted friend even, and got a recommendation on a home improvement contractor, I bet you that you would look up their online reviews before you spent whatever waterproofers charge between $5,000 and $22,000 on a job. I bet you look them up anyway, and that's part of the reason why reviews matter. 77% of consumers think that reviews, current reviews, are the most important. So reviews over 3 months, not relevant. So it's really important that you keep your reviews up and you keep getting reviews. So online reviews can really make or break your company. It affects the entire, all of your leads. Some of you have mailers that you're doing. I work with a company, they have 3 different mailer companies that they work with. Some of you have newspaper ads, television, commercials, radio. Some of you do canvassing, on and on and on. Shows, a lot of you do shows and events, and people look you up. You know, I run into this quite often. I talk to contractors all the time, and they're really good people. They're salt of the earth kind of people. They want to do right by the customer. And what I notice is that their online reputation doesn't match the person or the company that I'm talking to online as I consult with them and talk about their internet marketing. And it's really important, especially if you're someone, and I think the majority, if not everyone is, you're trying to do good, you're trying to do right, you're trying to do excellent work. You don't want those service calls anyway. And you're just trying to do right by people. It's so important that you try to get your online reputation to fit with who you are and who your company is. So yeah, I referred to this already, like all of your different lead sources get affected by your reputation online. So you try to just match, like if you believe, hey, you are different than other companies because we do customers right, we take care of them, we do it right. If you really believe that, then I really want to encourage you to take some steps to get your online reputation to align with that. So you have a great opportunity to really be perceived as the choice, the top pick for basement waterproofing or foundation repair in your market. And how do you do that? Really by just playing smart. And I'm going to give you some strategies here on how to just create a company culture of reviews and just constantly build into your online presence. So let your reputation speak for itself. When I owned my waterproofing company, we had a competitor that had over 100 Better Business Bureau complaints. And they used to have to go in and try to convince the homeowner that they're so big and they do such a high volume that they only have 100 really means it's like less than 1% of all the jobs ever have an issue. And it's like, if you have a great online presence, you don't have to try to equip your reps to talk their way out of doing bad service. They could just, customers can just look you up and be like, all right, this is clear evidence. There's a lot of reviews here and people speak highly about you. These are brand new stats, and these next two slides come from a very new study, and there was over 1 million reviews studied, and this is powerful stuff. So check this out. Conversion of Google profiles or Google listings improves by 44% when a business increases its average rating by 1 full star. For example, let's say you have a 3.0 rating. If you're to move to a 4, that means your Google listing, when people go to that, it's going to convert 44% better. That's pretty powerful. Now these are all like the free lead section. We have clients that spend a lot of money on Google ads, but this is just the free lead section. So most everyone probably has a rating of 4.0 or higher. Some of you don't, but most everyone has. So you're not going to make it more than 5. So let me show you a different one. Every 10th of a star increase improves conversion by 4.4%. So I'm working with a client that I told them some things that I'm telling you now, how important reviews are. They're at a 4.2. Within 45 days, they moved it to a 4.4, and their goal is to get it to 4.6. Now that's difficult where they're at because they have a few hundred reviews right now. And one of the things that they did is they went through all the reviews and they disputed the ones that should be disputed. Some disappeared, but they called all the 1-star reviews and they said, hey, how can we make this right? What happened? Yada, yada, yada. Kind of just rolled up their sleeves, got in there, wasn't afraid of, having that difficult conversation. Some of those 1-star reviews got turned into 5 stars, which is awesome. There's a couple that got left as 1 stars, and then some of them were just taken down. If you can get rid of those 1-star reviews, which in most cases, you probably didn't even do work for them. You probably were late on an appointment or something dumb, but those can really affect your rating on Google. So I like to ask this question. Would you call your company if you didn't know anything about your business? So if you did a search and you typed in basement waterproofing and 3 companies came up, would you call you? So if this came up, I'm just showing 3 companies. As I look at this and someone's got a 2.7, automatic, they're gone. No one's going to call a company that has a 2.7. If I were them, I don't know, I would get very serious about my rating. They're not paying attention. They may be a decent company, but because they're not doing anything, only that, the 2% of customers that you can ever please might be just leaving those reviews. All right, so now we're down to 2. So one of them has a 4.4 with 191 reviews, and the other one has 4.4 with 64. So I'm probably going to call both of these companies, and I'll probably find somewhere else. Like you could usually hit more businesses and you could find someone else. So I like to encourage people to forget about what they know and try to think through what a customer sees online, and then read your reviews and see, do you want that out there? And if not, is there anything you could do to make it right? Here is another one, different market. First one has 4.3 and 312 reviews. That's a lot of reviews. So when I see that one company is getting the majority of business, I'm kind of, they say we're like sheep and we kind of like to go with the herd. Automatically, I'm kind of saying, gee, why do so many people hire this company? I'm a little bit drawn to that. Someone's got a 4.6 below them with only 21 reviews. 21 reviews isn't a lot. I don't know if this is like a mom and pop shop or why they only have 21 reviews and then someone has 8 reviews at the 4.0. That to me is just a flag. It's just, they're too small. Like, will they be in business next year? A warranty is only as good as a business. So, um, type in basement waterproofing in your market and see who's out there. See how it shows up and see where customers would get drawn to. See if you can do something about it. So yes, reviews, they're really mission critical. You should know that your rating and the number of reviews and the sentiment of the reviews, like the words that people use, actually affect your rankings and who's going to rank. Google, we know Google owns patents on being able to read a review and have that credited to their ranking. 88% of consumers look at reviews, and it's a major conversion factor. I've been in this business long enough to know that in the olden days, people used to go to the yellow pages and get 3 companies out. Nowadays, they're doing the research. Why waste their time? If you take 10 more minutes, you could kind of weed out the people that don't have a good reputation online. And that's what people are doing. And it really affects your lead generation department. So is controlling and managing your online reputation, is it important? Is it critical to you? I hope it is. It affects everything. Really does. I want to give you 5 key principles that might help you improve. If you apply these, I guarantee it's going to improve what you're doing. You're going to get more reviews. You're going to rank better and you're going to convert more leads. First one is provide a world-class customer experience. So you really need to look at what and how your company provides customer service. And that all starts with even answering the phone. How long does it take for you to answer the phone? Can you answer the phone within 2 rings? That's what I think a contractor should shoot for. And I like to avoid those, press 1 for this, press 2 for that. No one wants to talk to a computer. And so also, are the people on the phone, are they friendly? Like, what is that first impression? Are they educated? Are they helpful? Do they know how to help the customer? And then are you able to get an inspector out there on a timely basis? And then are they on time? And are they dressed in a shirt with a logo? And are they prepared? Like that whole customer experience. When you schedule a job, like how long do they have to wait out there? Is the crew going to show up in time? How's the crew's communication? It's usually the unique situations. It's usually like the absentee homeowner where you run into stuff, but really try to provide a world-class experience. One of the things I like to teach is to teach your crews to over-deliver, to always do something that the customer did not expect. And then, teach them relational skills, teach them how to interact with the homeowner. We used to train our foremen that when they are meeting with an older couple to take their time when they open up the job and they do the walk around on the inside and the outside. Sometimes the older couple, they want to sit down at the kitchen table and they want to chit chat a little bit. And crews are like, we want to get in and slam this job on the ground, do quality work, and get out. But sometimes some people, some personality styles, they need that extra hand holding and it goes a long way. So it's good to teach those skills. So try to look at your entire company and really ask yourself, are you providing a world-class customer experience? Like, can you create a raving fan so that when you're finished with the job, they're going to say, man, that home improvement company has their act together. They are really doing great work and they were just phenomenal. And that's, you're really leaning on the law of reciprocity. And that is when you do amazing things for people and you're generous and you're going above and beyond, and then you ask for that review, boy, the chance of getting a review back in that context is way higher. And that's part of the reason why you want to provide a world-class customer experience. All right, let's go to the second one. Build online reviews, reputation management into your company culture. So I really want to encourage you to create a company culture of customer reviews. This is part of your core values. everyone in your company knows that with every single customer interaction, that your online reputation and trying to get a customer review is really at stake. And how do you do that? Well, you need to educate your employees on how important customer reviews are. Again, it's a major conversion factor. When people are checking you out, nowadays they're not even going to bother unless you're in the top percentages of your market in the service that you're providing. So I can give you a few more tips on what would help. Whenever you have a staff meeting, I would encourage you to read the last customer review that you received and then acknowledge your team for every person that was involved in the touch of that customer. So that starts really with the phone calls, and that starts with the sales rep, and then it goes, sometimes it's after it's sold, it might go to your finance department. Sometimes someone in your office needs to get information about that. It can go to the scheduling department, and then it goes to the crews. So every single person that touched that customer to get that review, acknowledge them publicly. I would encourage you to set a realistic goal. Let's say you look at your Google listing right now, and let's say you have 50 reviews, and at the end of a month, you want, let's say, 10 more reviews. I don't know where you're at. For some, you're going to want, 25. And for others, you might want to just get 5. Whatever's realistic. Put a few posters on the wall and write down where you're at and what the goal is, and then give people an incentive and tell them you're going to buy lunch for them, or you're going to do a drawing that anyone who got a customer review has a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. Do something fun, do an event, something that creates energy that your team's going to want to do. And then check in with them and tell them, hey, if we're at 50 and you're trying to get to 75, then, halfway through, you ought to have like 12 or 13. So keep reminding them, make it into a fun contest. So there's a couple things there, and keep doing it. A third item I would give you is identify your best reviews and then blow them up and put them on the wall in your office. And then if you want to take that further, you could write all the names of the employees that touched that customer to help create that review. So that's part of a company culture. All right. Number 3, what you measure, inspect, and celebrate, you create more of. I wonder how many employees know what your Google rating is and how many reviews you have. That would be a good indication if they know that, if they are valuing that. Do they know that? Are you inspecting that? Do you know right away how many reviews? Like, if you didn't look before this webinar, would you know how many reviews you have? And then do you know the systems that you have in place to get more reviews? So are you inspecting it? Are you measuring it? And number 2 does relate to celebrating it. Celebrate your wins. People work better off of positive energy. So that's why I emphasize the word realistic. Set a realistic goal. Oftentimes owners, we're drivers and we could do this, we could do this. Set something realistic. Try to create some momentum. And as any good leader would do, try to, jump in there yourself. And if you need to get some reviews yourself to help your team hit that goal, then do it. They'd appreciate that you're trying to help them get there. All right, number 4, leverage best-in-class tools. I think I could show you some of the common tools to get customer reviews. If you're our client, we don't use any of these. We've created our own system, which I like our system because it kind of gives us the freedom to customize exactly what our clients need and where the review should go. We do have a few, probably 4 maybe or 5 people that use Birdeye in the bottom left-hand corner. One of the things they like about Birdeye is Birdeye allows you to respond to the reviews right inside their platform from like all different, whether it's Facebook or Better Business Bureau or Google Listing, you could respond to it. And also there's good notifications. So if you want them centralized, great. It's usually the bigger companies that like to use some of these platforms. I'm going to go backwards a little bit. I mentioned email, SMS. There's things that you could do to like automate text and so on. And we do all those here. So those are some of the platforms you could use and look into. All right, fifth and super important is acknowledge and respond to every review, preferably within 24 hours. So here's an example. Here's a review. I used to have water coming in the middle of my basement floor, and it goes on. And then here is the owner of the company responding. Here's another review. Effective work, professional employees, so on. The owner goes on and responds. That's something that you want to do in every single review. Good, bad, and different. Respond to every review. It's really important that you do that. And that's a true conversion factor. I think I have some stats on that one. I'm not sure. All right. So put a strategy in place to drive consistent reviews. Track them, measure them, celebrate them. I say this a lot because I talk to owners and they have great intentions, but truth of the matter is we owners have, we're wearing a lot of hats. There's a lot going on. If you delegate this whole thing to somebody, if you can't do it yourself, do it, delegate it. Too many owners are trying to do too many things. So delegate it, empower someone to do this stuff. And have a strategy, like who's ever reviewing, responding to reviews, make sure they're doing it correctly, especially the negative ones. Never get defensive when you respond to a review. And having talked to owners get very frustrated when it's a negative review, period. When it's a negative review based on something that's not true, they get really, really irritated. But don't sound defensive, because when someone's reading these, they automatically are siding with the customer and they assume the company is wrong. So try to take responsibility where you can, explain the system that you've created to correct it and make it right. Better yet, like jump on these. If you get a negative review, like try to track that thing down. And if you need to go out there and meet with them, do what you can to get that resolved, to have them either move it to a 5 or take it down. Really, really important. You're not going to win on all of them, but at least try. You owe it to yourself to try. All right, here's a powerful stat. For every 25% of reviews responded to, conversion of Google profiles improves by 4.1%. That's if you're only responding to, 1 out of 4. So you're going to improve your conversion factor if you respond to all of them. Hey, and even if you have like super old ones, 5 years old, I'd go in there and respond to all of them. It's going to show the customers that you care about every review, and you're going to pay attention to them. And that's what they want. They feel safer working with companies like that. So be the go-to basement waterproofing or foundation repair company in your area. And then this is going to help your rankings, and it's also going to help maximize your conversions. It's going to help you convert more leads. So I'm curious which one of these strategies that you really need to work on. It'd be good to write that down, and it would be good to put it on your calendar right now so you can take action. If you want to kick some of these around, whether you're a client of ours or not, I do have a 15-minute calendar or whatever you want to do. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help strategize with you to become more effective at getting 5-star reviews. And if you're interested in an acceleration session where we can look at your online reputation, look at how you're ranking, look at your citations, your social presence, how well your website is converting visitors into leads, your web speed, and lots of other things, please reach out to us. We're happy to review that with you. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you learned some things. The key to success is applying. So immediately try to apply something from this webinar. All right, take care.